Now on the APEC VIP hotline, cutting-edge training for the serious athlete, apecgo.com. Joining us now, the legendary quarterback of the 1969-1970 national champions, Texas Longhorns, former Longview Lobo, and also played for the great Darrell Royal, James Street. Mr. Street, thank you very much for coming on with us. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Bryan. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. I wanted to get your reaction, first of all, to the news this morning that Coach Darrell Royal has passed away.
Well, it's to some extent, it is a sad, it's the end of a great era. It's the end of a great history of a great man and things that he accomplished and did, and all the way up till yesterday. Right? It's unbelievable what he's done. But at the same time, it was getting to the point where it may almost have been a blessing that he wouldn't have liked the spot he was in.
No. In fact, I talked to Pat Culpepper's wife just a little while ago and said that Coach Royal had fallen last week and was really almost childlike at this point. So it is a bit of a blessing that that's finally over for him.
That's exactly right. He would not have liked other people. His pride was such that, that he, now all the way to the end, if one of his players wanted to come by to see him, that would excite him more than anything else in the world. So he was, you say dance with the one. He always used the line, "Dance with the one that brung us." Well, he brung us, so it was pretty neat.
When was the last time you actually had a chance to sit down and visit with him?
In the last twice in the last month, I went out to eat lunch with him, or would meet with him while he was out eating lunch somewhere with somebody, and so he was struggling, but he was fine, and he I was always blessed that he always remembered who I was, and that hi James, how you doing? I was talking to Bill Bradley this morning, and he said he was, and this is Coach. This is Coach. And it's in the morning, and so Bradley stopped by over there to see him, and Bill Bradley, who's a quarterback, and then went on and played pro ball with Philadelphia, but he's from Palestine, and so we're talking this morning. And he said he was walking with him. This is about a month and a half ago or so, and he's walking with him down to, and he had his walker going along, and he said Coach Royal kind of turned and looked at him and said, Now, who are you? He said, "I'm just teasing you, Bill."
That's great.
Yeah, it's so all the way. This was in the last 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. He just it's Coach Royal. He never. But if you were one of his players, and it didn't make any difference if you were the first team or the fourth team, he was. Anything he could do to help you, he'd do it.
What was it about Coach Royal that made him the great coach that he was? I
think that, first of all, and looking back at it as a kid, the first thing is that he took responsibility for everything he did, and if it was the 3-6-4 seasons that were before when I was a sophomore, the last ones that he took responsibility for it. If it was, and he also had you as a player, and Bill Bradley again and I were talking this morning, and he always had you as a player totally prepared for the game. And when he would say to you that luck is when preparation meets opportunity, he didn't believe in luck, really. He believed in that you had to get a little lucky, but he believed that if you weren't prepared, it wouldn't make any difference how lucky you got. And he could say that to you in 5 words or 10 words or something, and you'd get it. It's just he had the ability to say exactly what he thought, straight point. I was telling Bill, in the Arkansas game, we're riding, and Bill was telling stories of, the first time we ran the wishbone, and because he and I were the two guys that were running out there, and Coach Royal was trying to do things, but I was telling him, I said, the thing that amazed me about Coach is that never before in the whole career had I ever seen him do it, all that stuff. I'm riding on the bus from the hotel to the ball game at the Texas-Arkansas game. Mm-hmm. and I'm a couple rows behind him sitting there. And on the bus, no one said anything. Nobody said anything. You'd not hear any words. You're thinking about the game, getting prepared, and Coach hollered, street. And that meant come here. It didn't mean, he's not just trying to get and so I got up and walked up there, and he said, okay, if we get in a 2-point play situation, this is the play we're going to run, and I want you to take it to the outside option. You understand me? And I said, yes, sir, but Coach, we're not going to need a 2-point. He said, I'm telling you, if we get in a situation, it's a 2-point play, this is the play I want you to run, and I want you to take it to the outside option. Do you understand me? Yes, sir. And it was over. He turned back. I went back and sat down. Not another word said on the deal till we were having some problems parking, and there was some talking going on up there. But he had me totally prepared for when we did score, and I'm running back off the field, and he's waving, go back. I was totally prepared for it's a 2-point play. I mean, and this is a play we're going to run. You take it to the outside option and make it work. And so he was one of those guys that he had you prepared for the game, mentally, physically. He had you totally prepared for the game, but he expected you to do it too. But he would give it to you. He'd feed it to you, and then expect you to to follow through and finish.
When you were a quarterback or a player at Longview High School, and you were first being recruited, do you recall what it was like the first time you met Darrell Royal? Because after all, he was Darrell Royal, and he was coming to recruit you. Do you recall what that was like?
Well, first of all, yes, I remember exactly what it was like. First of all, he didn't come up there and recruit me. They had somebody, Coach Coffey, Russell Coffey, who passed away this last year. Uh-huh. He was the one that actually recruited me.
Right. And
you got to remember that I Longview, we were 5-5 that year, so we weren't that great. But they also they recruited back in those days 100 players. So I was lucky enough to be involved in that. I come down to for the visit here at Texas, and Coach Royal came and showed me around, and we talked a little bit and all this. And here I am, 5'10", 5'9.5", 5'10", 150 pounds, 155 pounds, and I'm excited about it, but I don't know much about their offense. I don't know much about anything else. It's not like people getting recruited today, mm-hmm. where they know you when you're a junior, they know you when you're a sophomore, you become a junior. So he gets me in there in the room, and we're walking around, and just out of nowhere, we go to and watch a freshman game. And Bradley in the freshman game, back then the guy Bradley was a year older, and he was playing freshman ball. Well, that day he scored, ran for one touchdown, threw a pass for one touchdown, intercepted a pass, and returned it for a touchdown. and he punted for about a 45-yard average. And so Coach Royal, with the obvious, he sits there and he says, I guess a lot of these schools are throwing Bill Bradley up to you, aren't they? And I said, yes, sir. Yes, sir, they do say that. He said, one thing about it, he said, if you start running away from competition now, you'll never know whether you could have played with the best and competed against the best. And that's all he said. And I'll never forget it. And it was kind of the thing to say to me, because he's challenging you, Uh-huh. You're going to run away from competition. He didn't say it that way. He said the truth. If you don't come here and play here, you don't know whether you ever could have played with the best and competed against the best.
Awesome. Great stuff. Well, so I guess you've talked to a lot of your former teammates about this today. I'm sure everybody's sharing stories right now. I bet the funeral is going to be fabulous when it comes time to talk about all the memories that have taken place with all you guys and what you've shared just by knowing and playing for him.
And for sure, and Coach Royal would love to have been with all the players in that deal, but he would have detested all the attention and all the deal that he's getting to. He wouldn't have wanted to be, and he didn't want to make a big deal out of something. It was just he would want this an event, and it's a part of the game. The thing about it is he played such a big part in so many young people's lives, But the thing that was a little different about him is he stayed with you. He stayed with you till 2 weeks ago when I'm meeting with him. I mean, he's been that way. If I needed him to go for me and we're talking to a bunch of business guys and, Coach, I'd like you to be there, and just say, and I invited him 3 or 4 times. Every time, if he didn't have something going on, he'd do it every time. And he would have done it for anyone that was his player. So that's kind of what makes him special. And we've created a Longhorn group that we all have an email and talk back and forth, listserv where we talk back and forth to each other all the time when someone gets sick or someone needs help. And so it's back over all those years, and it's been really good.
That's awesome. Well, Mr. Street, I really do appreciate you coming on and talking with us about Coach Royal. It's great to catch up with you. People in Longview still revere you, and obviously for all the good reasons. And so we do appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm fixing to have a little. Houston's going to have a little baby boy today, so it'll be our 4th grandchild. So I got 3 boys and 1 girl, so this will be good. So
congratulations!
You for calling. I enjoyed it, and I appreciate Coach Ty Bain and all the guys that I played with. I still keep up with a bunch of those guys from Longview that we played ball with. So I've been blessed.
Well, thank you, and congratulations on being a new granddad again. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, James Street on Bryan Houston Sports Radio Live on 99.3 Talk FM.